Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and let's talk about one of those tough interview questions that really isn't so tough. Now, the question is, looking back over your career thoughts from 5 years ago, did you accomplish your goals? Now, this is a variation on where do you see yourself 5 years from now. By going back in time and asking whether or not you've achieved those goals. Now, it's tricky in a very subtle way. Now, one way to answer the question is, 5 years ago I thought what I wanted to do was such and such. And I set out a variety of benchmarks for myself to achieve that objective, and clearly I did. Now, there's more texture to the answer than that, but that's the theme of the first question. Here's another one that I think is much more subtle. 5 years ago I set down an objective of such and such. And as I was working toward doing that, I saw another possible path that really was even more intriguing to me. So I did a pivot at that point. I started to change directions and focus in that direction. Now, I don't want to give the impression that I bounce from idea to idea, because I don't. But this was something that clearly was much more interesting and challenging to me. And I made a conscious shift in direction and hit those targets and exceeded them tremendously. Now, here's what you're doing with that one. You're showing that you're flexible. You're showing that you're creative. You're showing that when you see opportunity, you'll shift on a dime toward it. And as such, it's a different layer of answer than the first one, where you're saying, I had a goal, I set out to achieve my goal, I accomplished that. Again, nothing wrong with that answer, and a lot of firms want to hear that. Whether you want to work for a firm that only wants that answer is a different question, but understand that for a lot of firms, they want to hear the answer of, I set a goal for myself, this was my goal. I set benchmarks for achieving that goal, and I accomplished it. There are many more firms, I believe, they want to hear you say, I set a goal for myself, but as I learned more, I found that this other area was even more appealing to me. And as such, I made a pivot at that point, set out new goals for myself, and accomplished them. And clearly, I'm not someone who bounces from idea to idea like they're bright, shiny objects. I made one strategic change here and set out new goals for myself, and I was able to accomplish it. So again, two ways to answer the question. Whatever is true for you is the right way to answer the question. And whether the organization likes it says a lot about them and whether or not you'd be an appropriate fit for them. So this is Jeff Altman. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, share it, leave a comment, click the like button. Just do something that lets people know it was worthwhile. Then go over to thebiggamehunter.us and go exploring. Lots of content to help you. Videos, podcasts, e-zines. You can get a complimentary subscription to my e-zines, No BS Job Search Advice e-zine and No BS Hiring Advice e-zine that I put out on a regular schedule to help you with job hunting or staffing. You can read previous articles from them there. Post your resume to more than 50 sites from mine. Find out about my books and guides for the job hunting search positions I'm recruiting for. Just go over to thebiggamehunter.us and go exploring. A few final things. First of all, if your firm's trying to hire someone, send me an email at the address below. Let me know who to contact and whether to mention your name. I'd love to help your firm staff positions. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request. LinkedIn.com/IN/TheBigGameHunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you look like a spammer and if you're a recruiter. I prefer not accepting requests from my competition. Also, if you need, if we're not connected through a group or some other means, use the email address below so that way you don't have to use an InMail. Finally, if you have a question about job hunting, I'd be happy to answer your question. Contact me through liveperson.com, where I'm a job search and career coaching expert. Don't make the mistake of talking to your friends, family, former managers, people with as little knowledge as you do. Instead, come to me, who's a job search and career coaching expert. I'd be happy to answer your questions. This is Jeff Altman. Have a great day. Take care.